What's up everybody, D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and in today's video I will be concluding my stories about Anime Matsuri 2019. Also, I don't want to be somber in this video. I'm just trying to set a sentimental tone. Looking back in a very retrospective manner, I wanted to take a look back 4 years ago when I graduated high school to my first trip to Anime Matsuri, now that I've graduated college and I'm heading to my next one. So sit back and let me tell you the story of Anime Matsuri 2019 in a very brief and recap heavy way. If you want to see longer discussions about Anime Matsuri 2019, you can go check out the other videos I've made on the convention on the channel already, but I'm just going to take you through some of the major beats and some of the things that have stuck with me so heavily over the past few years. 4 years ago, I had the opportunity to go to Anime Matsuri 2019. This was Anime Matsuri's first time bringing Toho in the Godzilla store Tokyo, and for some reason, they were kind enough to include me in the celebration. I still don't know why, but I'm really appreciative of it. This was the first big trip I had really ever taken, and was the first business trip I was ever gonna take, and it was also the first large-scale YouTube opportunity I had ever had. We left for Houston on Wednesday, July 12th, nice and early. I was still on that mostly daily grind set by this point, so I spent half of this trip, including the plane flight, editing videos. I wound up getting booted from my seat by a convict who I thought was a rapper. He wasn't. He was being transported back to Houston. That night upon landing, my dad and I went bowling and had a great time. The next day we explored Houston and attended the opening ceremony for the gaming hall. The size of the convention was incredible, and it was amazing to see so many anime and Japan fans in one place. We saw Godzilla King of the Monsters that night in ScreenX, and that night I also started watching Ultraman 1966 because I felt unprepared to be at the anime convention without having seen many anime, so I attempted to watch Ultraman anime only to find that I needed to see the 66 show first, and so I went back to watch the 66 show. It was amazing. It started my love for that show. The first thing I did on Friday morning was book it to the Godzilla store, where I met Jazzman and bought some cool shiz, and then I met the Godzilla King of the Monsters mocap actors, and it was one of the coolest things I've ever done. That night I attended the Godzilla King of the Monsters mocap panel. It was an awesome panel, taught me a lot about how to host a panel. And then I was invited out to dinner by the mocap guys, which was probably one of the craziest opportunities I've ever had, and also one of the nicest things anyone has ever done for me. And I will never forget it, and I will never stop being grateful for it. That night was one of the top 3 nights of my entire life for sure. It was amazing. My face hurt so much from smiling that night, and even thinking about it and editing that last video I talked about it in, it still makes me smile so much to this day, especially when I look back at that footage. The dinner was at this seafood place called Papado, and it made me very nostalgic for Papado. And halfway through the meal, Doug Jones joined us, which was great. I ordered mozzarella cheese sticks, and AlanMaxson gives me crap for it to this day. Then I went to a seafood place and I got the most basic meal there, and I would do it all again. On Friday, I met so many incredible people. This was one of the first times I had ever truly gotten to meet my viewers and hang out with you guys. I booked it straight to the Godzilla store that morning, where not only did I meet Chris, Jazzman, in line, but I also met Mark and AJ. Then in the store I met Brooke, who wasn't a fan, but was super nice and supportive of my attempts to vlog the convention, and even let me interview her for the channel. I met Ryan and checked out Mark's car. I met another guy whose name I can't remember, and I don't really care to. He was some weird guy who told me that he knew who I was, but didn't like my videos. But he knew who I was and respected that I did videos. It was weird. He was a little hostile, I would say. But even him, I appreciate. It's a goofy story, and I appreciate him saying hi. He didn't need to, so I appreciate it. Over the next few days at the convention, I met so many people. I met some folks at the panel, I met some folks on the convention floor, I met another Brooke, I met MK Velasquez, and I met another Chris. There's a lot of people with duplicate names there, I guess. On Friday, a little before the panel, I also met George and Tristan. They were so kind and inviting and friendly, and we talked about Godzilla figures and different cities and all sorts of fun stuff. They were absolutely wonderful to talk to. Tristan was such a great kid, and I really miss that guy. I had also seen a few Japanese men at the Godzilla store that day. It was just for a second. I had seen them as the store was opening, and then I bumped into them again. I later bumped into one of those men at the Godzilla King of the Monsters mocap panel, and he was really excited to meet me. Like, he knew who I was, he was very aware of me. I had no idea who he was. All I could really gather from it was that he really liked my Invasion of Astro Monster jacket, and that was cool enough for me. I believe he took a picture of me, so that was pretty cool. The next day, Saturday the 15th, I really wanted to explore. Not only did we explore Houston, and I believe I got a bowl of spaghetti, but it was a really small bowl of spaghetti. It was so small. That day I vlogged the convention, I hung out at the Godzilla store a little bit, and I hung with the Ghidorah brothers for quite a while. My dad went to the Star Trek Discovery panel with Doug Jones, and that gave me some free time to hunt for some Godzilla merch through the convention floor. That day, George, Tristan, my dad, and I all got lunch at a Mexican restaurant, and it was super fun. Huge thanks to both of them for joining me. I'm really sad we didn't get to meet up at the 2021 convention, but that lunch was awesome. It was so nice of them to join me. I really appreciate it. They were just so nice and supportive and friendly and awesome. Again, Tristan was such a great kid, and it was so fun to chat with him. I hope that they're doing well. Maybe someday we'll get to hang out again. One of my trips to the Godzilla store, this Japanese man approached me. He was a translator, and he said someone wanted to formally meet me. So I followed him, and we went over to a little area where I met Mr. Hiroki Miyajima, the man from the Godzilla panel the night before. I took a picture with him at the Godzilla store right before we went over to a little area where we had a chat. He was one of the nicest and kindest people I have ever met. He was so wonderfully supportive of me and nice and encouraging, and he also just so happened to work for Toho. If I'm not mistaken, he actually is one of the heads for one of the Toho departments and is the reason the Godzilla store was there in the first place. This was the day that I met a couple people from Toho, and I got to talk to them and ask them some questions, and I got to spend a lot of time chatting with Mr. Miyajima about Godzilla and Japan and the film industry and all sorts of amazing stuff. I have never forgotten that conversation, and I really hope I can have more with him again. I've been fortunate enough to have some brief contact with him over the few years, and he's a great guy. Saturday night, I got a call asking if I wanted to explore the Godzilla store before it opened the next morning so I could get B-roll of all of the merchandise, and of course I did. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. I had no idea where this would lead though, but it kind of seemed a little more official than they were letting on. It was a little more official than anything else I had done there, so I was getting really excited. I still wasn't fully prepared though for what it was going to turn into. Sunday the 16th was amazing. I woke up nice and early so I could go down before the convention opened, and there they asked me if I would be willing to shoot a full ad for the Godzilla store with interviews, and I obviously jumped on that opportunity because it was the biggest opportunity I had ever gotten, and it is the thing I am the most proud of on this channel to this date. This was the first real film work I had ever done, and was my first attempt at a documentary and an advertisement, and was one of the first things that truly started my love for making films. I had an interest in making films, but until I did that, I didn't really know how much fun I could truly have doing it. The rest of the day, I kind of wandered around the convention, checked out the artist alley, saw some epic Godzilla art, then I mostly just hung around with the Ghidorah brothers all day. By this point, we were all super good friends, and their assistant, who I'm pretty sure was named Lisa, but I can't totally remember, it was 4 years ago, was also friends with us by now, so we were all super chill and we were able to vlog together and it was no problem. And we had also found out that morning I had official permission to film with the Ghidorah brothers the whole time. I could have filmed any of the mocap guys the entire time. We could have done those interviews. I just wasn't aware of that. I also want to give a huge thank you to TJ Storm, AlanMaxson, Jason Liles, Richard Dorton. I want to give a huge thank you to all four of them for not only just being so kind and letting me hang out with them, which is so nice of them to do, but for continuing to have that relationship with me over the past few years, which has been super nice. And not only that, they went out of their way to try and stick up for me. When we were originally told that I couldn't film with them, they tried really hard to figure out a way to allow me to do interviews with them. Ways that were like sneaking me into hotel rooms where we would be able to conduct interviews one-on-one without anybody knowing, all the way to just saying screw it and doing it right on the convention floor. We ultimately decided not to do that because, again, we didn't want to get in trouble, and as it would have turned out, we would have been in our rights to do anything we wanted. We could have filmed the whole thing the whole time, but we didn't know that, and they went out of their way to stick up for me, and I will never forget that. I also got the opportunity to take the mocap guys to the Godzilla store where we filmed a bunch of goofy B-roll for the Godzilla store ad. That stuff is so fun, and I look back on that footage all the time. I then got some final items from the Godzilla store, and very shortly thereafter, clouds rolled in, and it truly seemed like things were winding down. Clouds were almost there as a metaphor to say it's all coming to an end. I met Chris, another Chris, who had come to Matsuri just because he saw my video announcing that I was going to the convention, and he said hi. After that, I chilled with the Ghidorah brothers as things started to get really quiet. One of the highlights of the ending of the convention was the culmination of a joke that the Ghidorah brothers and I had with AlanMaxson. The entire trip we were teasing him about the fact that he plays the Ginger Dead Man's lips in Evil Bong. He didn't get to puppet the Ginger Dead Man, nor did he get to voice the Ginger Dead Man. He just got to move the lips. They're his lips. That's all he did. It's awesome. It was hilarious. So that day, Richard and Jason changed Alan's banner to reflect his true, most iconic performance as AlanMaxson. The Ghidorah brothers also gifted me a BTS photo from Godzilla King of the Monsters that they had snuck there and signed for me. This is one of my top prized possessions and is probably currently the most sentimental thing in my collection. I know you can't see it in videos anymore. You rarely ever could. You see this glass shelf of all the monster arts? Right on top of it. That's where that picture sits. It's hung on the wall directly above the monster art shelf, right in the center of the room. I went and got an autograph and some photos with Doug Jones and said goodbye to him, and then I rejoined the gang. And things came to an end rather quickly here, as everyone had to leave before the convention had even ended. We all had to go to the airport. We had one final goodbye and then went our separate ways. AlanMaxson had a quick flight out. He was the first to leave. He had some work to do upon landing in LA, so he was out of there before anybody else. My dad and I then packed up and took a last trip around the convention center and then left. We left to the George Bush Intercontinental Airport, where we had Wendy's for dinner, and while eating, I looked over and saw this really tall guy in line and then another man next to him, and I was like, okay, only one man is that tall, and then only one man has another man right next to him. That is Richard Dorton. So it had to be Jason Liles and Richard Dorton. They joined us for dinner. We had Wendy's together. We talked for a really long time, and for some reason, this conversation is the one that sticks with me the most when I think about Anime Matsuri, when I think about that experience. This conversation that we had is the one that sticks with me. They had so much good advice and told me so much that I needed to hear and learn. It was great advice that I still carry with me to this day and try and act upon, and they were just some of the nicest people ever. But that is the thing though. So Alan had taken off early, and I think he forgot about the golden rule. Golden, get it? Because of Ghidorah. When Ghidorah takes flight, storms follow, and they sure did. We wound up trapped at that airport for hours. I did get to hang out with Jason and Richard a few more times, and I tried to make the most out of every second that I could hanging out with them because I knew it was going to be over and I knew it might never happen again. But we did have 2 different flights home, and we were in 2 different terminals in 2 different areas, so we were not hanging out together often. I was supposed to leave first, and it seemed like things were progressing as I boarded my flight, and after getting to the airport at about 5-ish, this progress was great. I really wanted to leave. We were planning on leaving around 7-ish, but we didn't even board the plane until about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, and that wasn't great either, because as it turns out, the flight was grounded due to more lightning which had just rolled in, which meant we were not going anywhere. And unlike the flight to Anime Matsuri, this was the smallest plane I have ever been on. It was cramped, and I got really uncomfortable really quickly. I was exhausted, but I was way too stimulated to sleep, so I wound up just listening to Billie Eilish for an hour and a half on loop, hoping that it would all come to an end quickly. I started a little text conversation with Jason Liles. The 2 of us were competing to see who was going to get to leave last. Things seemed like they were heating up at his terminal, so it seemed like he actually might leave first, but joke's on him. He won that competition. Oh wait, that means the joke's on me. Sort of. Yes, Jason won the competition, as he and the gang, which included Richard Dorton, TJ Storm, and Doug Jones, wound up having to stay the night and didn't even get to leave until partway through the next day. I, on the other hand, actually did wind up taking off at 12:30 a.m. on Monday, June 17th, with one last screenshot to cap off the trip to cement that. It was a weird, stressful flight home, full of like in and out of being asleep and neck pain and then landing and being exhausted, but it happened and it was over, and then it was over. It was really sad to be over, and it's still sad to this day. I would do anything to go back to that weekend, and that's why I'm so thankful that I have a continued relationship with Anime Matsuri, and I keep getting to. Thank you guys so much. Before the video ends, I just want to allow some montages, some B-roll to play from that convention, just so you can see what it was like. It'll have some uncut footage of the Ghidorah brothers being goofballs, and TJ Storm as well, where he actually hinted to me there and then the Mechagodzilla was going to show up in the Monsterverse. We filmed a little clip together as a joke about it, and then he was like, yeah, but really no, he's going to be in the next one. So that was really fun, and he was kind of saying it as a joke, and then it just wound up being true, but I have a feeling he kind of knew. I think he was just trying to tease that he knew and was trying to be sneaky about it. But I hope you enjoy all the footage.
We made it to Houston, we did.
Is this the start of our grand adventure?
We are here. Hey, we are here in Houston for Anime Matsuri. There's people all over the place already ready for the convention, so we are getting ready to go check it out for the first time.
The vendor room just opened.
What's up? Hey.
I don't know if you know me, but I'm AJ Brown. I messaged you earlier on YouTube.
Oh my God, it's so cool to see you. Hey guys, how you been? How you guys doing? It's Jawsman here, and I'm the greeter for the Godzilla store.
I'll see you up there.
It's fantastic seeing you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. And there's Jawsman. Nice to meet you.
You're like way taller in person.
What's your name?
Mark.
Mark, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Hello, YouTube land and fellow kaiju and tokusatsu fans. Mark Thrash of Houston here.
These are from Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. 1990, I don't know the name, but all the original illustrations.
It's pretty sweet.
Crazy. That's the original suit right there from Tokyo.
I know, that's amazing. This is the coolest thing.
I know, the actor who stated it was about 5'2", so it looks very cramped.
Those are supposed to be Godzilla's teeth. That's really cool. Oh, and if you look underneath, you actually can see the bones too.
Yeah, you can see the lasers.
It's pretty sweet.
I'm John.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming and welcome to Houston.
Thanks for having me.
Have you actually checked it out? Did you mess with it? You know, I mean that moves. And so when I saw it, you can take it out, get it in the back. It's the exact one from the movie. They clean it up a little bit.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Try and lift him. Yeah, it's decent.
It's heavy. I mean, it's not that heavy. The tail comes off.
Okay.
2 people could lift this up, and you need 3 people if you want to move this. 1 person with the tail, and
2 people with the body.
All right, I'll let you guys, look around, have fun.
Nice to meet you, Ryan.
You too. Hi, what's going on?
What do you think of the store?
Oh, it's cool. I've been waiting for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, that line was quite the wait, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm starving.
Yeah. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming and saying hi.
Thanks. I watch all your videos.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah. I'm here with.
I don't know what to call myself.
No, you're good.
Brooke?
Brooke? All right, I'm here with Brooke. Are you a longtime Godzilla fan?
Yes.
I can see the Mothra wings here. Are these based off the 2019 movie?
Yes.
How long did it take to make those?
Okay, so it was like 2 full nights, but like months of procrastinating. This is insulation sheeting. Like they sell them in big pig sheets at Home Depot. And I cut them with like a hot knife and then painted.
All right, that's pretty sweet. These are pretty cool. I think you're the only person I've seen walking around dressed up as anything for Godzilla. So that's.
I actually saw someone in
Did
the
you?
inflatable suit.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
That's very sweet. Did you see the new movie?
Yes. Oh my god, it's so good. I wanted to get this done when the movie came out, but I was late.
What'd you think of all Mothra's scenes?
I was shocked how much she was on the screen. I was not expecting it.
Nice to meet you, Brooke.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
You said your car's here?
Yeah, it's nothing special, but it's the Lexus right there.
Oh, I see the Godzilla inside.
Yeah, that have the super premium, and then there's like other ones around it.
Oh, wow. What is this one?
That's the Bandai 94 Super Premium. That one came out when Space Godzilla came out.
All right, well, it was good to meet you.
For sure.
They are. Where are we going? So we're going to meet Godzilla and Ghidorah.
What's happening, dude?
Nothing much.
How are ya?
How are you?
Good to see ya.
Hey!
Dude, you're taller than I thought.
You don't look at the
How are
camera,
you?
Jason.
I looked right at it. I keep looking right at it.
You'd think you'd ever done a movie before.
How are you guys?
Fantastic.
Hi. Good, how are you?
Good, good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How'd that go?
It's pretty sweet. All right, fellas, we're on our own now. I don't know how the audio sounds on this, but we're gonna walk the convention, see what they have. We'll check it out. I don't know how to do these vlogs. I'm not a professional vlog channel, but we'll give it a best shot.
Recast for the new Godzilla movie. Whitehead will now be played by Liles. He's a very, very famous actor. If you come over here, you can see the ginger dead man, and he plays the Liles. This is going to be amazing.
Has anybody been cosplaying that character today?
Absolutely nobody. I think they might be cosplaying it like in Australia, if he's lucky.
Well, that's how you know you made it, right? When they cosplay it?
Yeah,
Something
and
like
so
that.
he has had none of these characters cosplayed. You know, Kevin's the best. And if the right head's always right, then Kevin is the best because the left head is the best head.
You know, at least I have an iconic character enough to have a nickname.
Like Kevin?
Oh!
You're named after a different character that you don't play.
AlanMaxson.
Matt Lips. I like that one.
Yeah, see, yeah, there you go.
What if you do?
Godzilla store. This is awesome. It's Godzilla stuff everywhere. Lead us in. Godzilla Whisperer. Wow, look at that. We're good actors.
Wow, incredible.
Can I take for y'all?
Yeah. Dorton played by Johnny Depp. This internet like.
They're all Johnny characters. What do you think, TJ? If you were gonna buy anything here, what would it be?
Man, that Mecha Godzilla suit, that is the legacy. That's history. That. You can't buy that though. That's legacy, man. For me to buy, this wig is rocking. This is like a whole new look for Godzilla. I'm feeling it. 2020, it's not gonna be Godzilla versus Kong. I think it would be more like Godzilla versus the Beatles. Yes.
He works his style for sure.
I love Shin, man. I can't believe you haven't seen it yet. It's so good. All these things are sold out.
You just barely see the front. These guys work hard. This is awesome.
If you were gonna buy something here that you haven't already bought, what would it be?
If I had unlimited money, I would get this. I would buy someone bigger and stronger than me to come in here and just muscle all the display ones out and just be like mine and kick people away. And I'd have one of all the displays.
You can see it, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Stop. Did you pay, sir?
Hey, do you guys, when you guys see that Godzilla suit over there, does it instinctively make you want to attack in tandem?
Kind of. I want to write it too as well though. First.
I want to wear it.
What's attack?
Do you feel cheated in your career you didn't get to wear a giant suit like that Mecha Godzilla? Or?
Very cheated.
Yeah, very cheated.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I want to wear that suit. Even though that's for a 5'1" person and I'm 6'9", I'm going to wear that suit. I am the height. I could be. I don't even need to be, I don't know where his head is in the suit. But I just want all this stuff.
You have to come to see something that they're selling at the store. It's a very, very big exclusive. I want to show you something really important. Right? Come across, but it's a special collector's item on the third shelf. So I just did. It's not so wrong.
All of you, time out.
Time to go.
We're going back to the you are all sitting in the
It's D-Man.
I get it.
It's D-Derek Man.
Which one would you buy?
I'd get this guy right here. The Shin. It's beautiful. I love the red coming out. That sculpt. I love the look of that Godzilla. It's awesome. I actually would love to see a Shin Ghidorah. That would be awesome.
I have one.
Wait, what?
He's in, there's a new 4D ride in Japan.
He's in it?
They just did a new design for him.
Does he look similar to
He's nowhere near this crazy. It's like all tail.
I wanted to show you something.
What is it, voodoo? Is one of our hands voodoo in your face?
You taking an iPhone? Sure.
Want to take a photo?
It wasn't even
I'm like, I don't know what you guys want.
You guys like what you're saying?
Guys, let's do this.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, he's like, I wasn't gonna buy a ticket, but then when I saw it, because I
want to see you wearing those outfits.
I want to give one last thank you to Anime Matsuri for this opportunity. Thank you guys so much. It was the weekend of a lifetime. That is the height of my life. That weekend, I will never stop living in it because it was amazing. If you want to check out Anime Matsuri and all that stuff, check out the links down below. Happening in 2024, also gonna have Godzilla and Toho, so make sure you go. Get there. Get there. Come say hi. I also want to give a huge thank you to my patrons over on Patreon for keeping this channel running. They are the grease that squeaks these wheels, my friends. They are the ones keeping the cogs in motion. Thank you to all the patrons over on Patreon. I really appreciate it. If you want to support the Patreon, you can use the link in the description below where you can get early access to content, access to the Discord community, and more. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time for the next one. D-Man, officially for the last Anime Matsuri 2019 video, probably, out.